Let's go. Finish Friday. Welcome to the Nudelberg Daily Huddle.
Are you like me? Do you wake up like super excited now? I mean, are you like saying to yourself, hey man, we got stuff going on?
Yeah. So I had this conversation with Carlton yesterday on our coaching call. To me, the reason I sleep well at night and I wake up well is because of my morning routine. It's got nothing to do with like I'm excited about life. It's got nothing to do with anything else other than the fact that I put my head down knowing exactly what I'm going to do when the alarm goes off. So there's no anxiety, there's no stress, there's no nothing. I know exactly what I'm going to do when I get up. And then I know that that will lead me into everything else that needs to happen for the day. So while I'm excited about Huddler in the hot seat, while I'm excited about GOT being the accountability call, while I'm excited about everything that we're doing for organizations, I'm in a groove.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Life's been, it's been nice work. We'll talk about on Monday all the accountability stuff as we close out January. Like, where are you doing the litmus test? But in the category of YJNK, do you know what that means?
YJNK. You just don't need.
Never.
You just never know.
You just never know.
Which would be the opposite of if you know, right?
So I made it up. But my dear friend Rob Vaca, who I can tell you stories about forever, we need to have him and his cohort, Jonathan Brinkus. If you remember, Sports Science was a big ESPN show. Those are really good friends of mine. You never know who's looking at your social media. Take a look at this.
All right. Well, let's go.
Let's go to my
story
screen,
number one.
Herbert, and wait, what is this? Wait, our good friend Steve Nudelberg called you fat?
What? Me? Or
how did that get in there?
Hold on a second.
Is Nudelberg calling you fat?
Might be. Look at Nudelberg. Hold on, look at that. That is one wise man. Look at that. He's got the glasses.
Now, Nudelberg told me to tell you that he didn't intend for this to be a dig at you. He says that fat in his mind is faithful, available, and teachable. And you're none of them. I'm kidding.
I'm none of those, but I will tell you that when you look at me in my salty MF hoodie, I do look fat.
Well, Steve Nudelberg knew that, and that's why he sent the message.
That's right. All right.
So that is one of the hottest shows on the internet. It's called the NIL House, which is actually a replica of the Heisman House, and they talk everything NIL. So tune into it.
It's a great show. Like when I turned it on, I was like, wow, they really put together a well-produced show. It's fun. It doesn't feel like it's like over the top. It feels very, authentic and genuine. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to watch more of those episodes.
So they do it in a house, which is kind of cool. And they have great guests on, and they're talking everything that has to do with name, image, and likeness, if you didn't know that, which is fabulous. Now there's crossover deals with NFL players. They're doing something with Chance. Who's the guy that plays for the Jets? Sauce
Gardner.
Sauce Gardner. Thank you.
So
they're doing something with Sauce Gardner and Buffalo Wild Wings, all the great names in college football. Like there's a guy named
the NIL is not new to NFL players, right? Like you had a business built around NIL. Yeah. You helped introduce businesses to sports personalities, and you created those relationships. Where it's new is that there are high school quarterbacks that are signing $13 million contracts. Like if you look at the debacle that happened with a quarterback and the University of Florida and the deals that were being done and money that's being guaranteed, you have schools committing to paying an 18-year-old quarterback $6 or $7 million to come play at their school. It's a game changer. Now we're talking about something that is way beyond professional athletes getting paid for endorsement deals. You're talking about schools having to shell out a significant amount of money, and kids making a lot of money based on potential. It's wild.
It will implode, but that is for another show. Let's get this thing kicked off with wake up music. Then we pick very special walk up music for this lovely young lady that's joining us. Right around the corner is Shari Cedar.
Let's go.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about the thinking, time of thinking ahead. Come on.
So Shari is a friend. She's a client. She's a huddler. She's in the GOTB community. This is the best walk-up music yet. Bang.
And then we'll go right into Huddle and the hot seat music.
There we go.
Yes.
Time to clean up, everyone. Let's pick up our things. Clean up. Everybody clean up, clean up. Everybody clean up, clean up. Everybody clean up. Time to clean up.
Shari, Solomon, Cedar, welcome to the Huddler in the hot seat. Welcome to the Nudelberg Daily Huddle.
So you will have to explain to people why that song is so appropriate.
Okay, had I known though, when I first heard that song, when my kids were like babies, I would have never dreamt that, right? I would have never dreamt it was so meaningful. I'm all going to be thinking about it all day. Sorry.
And it's what you do. It's what you do.
It is what I do. Thanks, guys. So my company and my husband's company is AK Building Services. We're a full-service janitorial commercial cleaning company. Thus, very appropriate to clean up because, you know, man.
Clean up.
But there's no way that's actually your theme music, right?
I think it would win deals. If you send that to people, it will win deals.
Well, Shari,
I think I might get email from people. I can't get it out of my head.
we always start this segment the same way. So give us your story, right? That's what we tell everybody to share. Give us your story. Tell us how you have an unbelievable career through media and through media production to now being in the cleaning services industry. So give us your story, where you come from and how you got to where you are.
Okay, first of all, thank you guys for giving me the honor of being in the hot seat. And I believe I'm the first female entrepreneur in the hot seat. And like, I am honored. So thank
Congrats.
you. Well, currently we're going to just start with where I sit today. I have 2 teenage boys, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. 16-year-old just got his driver's license last week. So this is why I can do the huddle. I've just earned 10 hours back in my life. A week, 40 hours a month are now mine. I'm
There
off
you
the
go.
site.
Well, your LinkedIn profile could have said Uber driver too. So
I've been an Uber driver, but then going back a bit, you know, I grew up in New Jersey. I guess just I've always adventurous kid. Like I've always wanted to do the crazy stuff, which is why I ended up at University of Vermont as a environmental studies major, religion minor. One might say a major in skiing because I creatively did my classes so I could ski Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Strategic planning is what we call that.
It was strategic planning. And honestly, my parents were pissed. They were like, why the hell are we paying for University of Vermont? We're out of state prices. Like, what the hell's environmental studies and religion? Like, go economics, poli-sci. And then afterwards, I declared, well, I'm going west with my mountain bike and my dog.
Wow.
And they were like, you're on your own. No money. Like, we're not going to even nothing. You're on your own. And I was like, great, awesome. I'm going west. See ya. And I did the quintessential ski bum life, which was amazing. You know, I was ski instructor. And then I was like, that is too time consuming and didn't give me enough time on the slopes. So then I waited tables because then I realized it was like awesome cash. I learned how to do sales because I really needed money. So I could upsell the shit out of anybody. You know, like you should have this bottle of wine. And I mean, I read a book, Service That Sells, but that's a whole other discussion. Anyway, but went on and I actually got a little bored and I decided I was going to become the weather girl in Steamboat because I met a guy who ran the TV station there. And he's like, all right, cool. So I became the weather girl in Steamboat Springs. And then I got a job at the Planning Commission. They're like, can you be the planning correspondent? I was like, totally. I've gotten in. I'll go to City Hall meetings. And then I was like, hey, everyone uses the bike path wrong. Can I do a PSA for that? And I was like, well, this is kind of cool. I think I could do a career in this. So, although I do want to sidebar at one point, I did live in a cabin because we had like no money, no electricity. And my dad was like, so how's your bank account? I said, I have $24, Dad. Like, it kind of sucks to be poor, right? Yeah. Go to law school, you know, we can really help you. And I was like, no. I hate condiments on a slice of bread all day long.
Yeah. You were hell bent to do it your way, right?
Well, I was doing it my way, and it wasn't always comfortable to sleep on mattresses on the floor or be a bum, or you know, not literally bum, but you know what I mean. But it gave me grit and resilience, and you kind of know like you'll always be okay. You know, you can make it work, and you get real creative really fast.
So
but I did go back and got a master's.
That led you into a career of media production, right?
Yes. So I got a master's in broadcast journalism. I went into the assignment editor at New England Cable News. I definitively hustled my way to a job in New York City. And from there, man, it was like the rocket took off. I had the coolest career and did so privileged to work with incredible people, incredible experiences. Yeah, and so now I live in Florida and run a commercial cleaning company. There's a very
hold on. You can't like yada 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 the exit out of media production, and like you've got some unbelievable stories. You've got stories about Oprah, like so you can't just like gloss over that. What was the move? What caused you to leave that career?
There's always an inflection point. There's always something that sends you out. What was it?
The very honest answer is Mark was growing a business. We were living, well, let me just back up to say we were living in New York City. Mark wanted to be his own boss. And I mean, I was almost bi-coastal. Like I was flying to LA and back, and we had a nanny, and the nanny's like, I need a second nanny. Because it was bananas. We moved to Florida. Mark was growing the business. I still was like, I'm a TV girl. I can't leave it. So, you know, but the real inflection point was when my kids came up to me and they were like, Mommy. And Lily was our nanny in Florida. And, you know, that hurts. And I was like, shit, this isn't right. And Mark was, you know, growing a business. And here I am producing. And, you know, you guys know production's hard. It is like all out. You wake up, you work, you sleep, you repeat, and you don't do it till the show's done. There's no time. Like you just do it. Yeah. So Mark said to me, like, why are you making other people money? Like, let's work on our family. And that's a really personal thing to share, but that's what we did. And man, it was the best decision I ever made. Never look back.
Well, you know what a pillar that is for me and now Mark, because people lose sight of that and then it's too late. Like you were fortunate that you had this epiphany right in front of you and you paid attention to it. Too many people have that same epiphany and say, that's just the way it is, and go on. And there comes a point where you can't turn back. And so congratulations and kudos to you, because I know how important family is to both of you guys.
Yeah. And, you know, at first I was reluctant because I was like, cleaning, that's like a broom, a mop. That's really freaking boring. You know, like, how do I go from running in the wilds of Africa and working with Oprah to janitorial? And that was like my point where I was really stuck. I like couldn't get over it.
Well, there's a key word here that I want to touch on because it's going to lead me to my next question.
Okay.
And it's something that I understand very well, moving from one career to another, is the transferable skill. And I think most people struggle with the idea, or they don't understand the fact that there are so many transferable skills regardless of what industry you're working in. Fundamentals to success are fundamentals to success regardless of the arena. So as you pivoted or you moved to a new arena, which was this business, growing this business with your husband, what were the transferable skills that you really went, oh, I see the way I played that game, I'm going to apply those to this game?
You know, there are so many transferable skills. Well, first and foremost for me is I was able to find creativity and a creative outlet in running a business. And I love that. I mean, when it's yours and you're shaping it and your core values and what your business is about, right? So that's transferable. I think the most black and white one is pre-production, production, post-production. Right?
Oh,
Pre-production. You plan the shit out of it and you make it work, because the more planning you put in. So
or sometimes it doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Then you got to pivot fast, right? Resilience. But we get a new customer, janitorial customer, whether it's a hospital, a school, a medical center, you got to plan. Like, you got to really work it out and get all the details. So I love the pre-production. Then the production, it's happening. You're in it, right? Can you make real-time decisions based on the current environment, right? Best laid plans go to shit. We all know that. You have to be able to say, okay, we're live. Let's do it. Let's figure it out.
Sure.
And then post-production, all right, it was great, but how can we do better? What can be better next time? So that's it. And the other is, we're like, no matter where you are, you're in the people business, right? Yep. It's people business. And
so I want to ask you a question, because for me in football, those blocks were very defined. Pre-game was the whole week, right? I had Sunday through Friday to plan, prep, practice, get ready. Showtime was Saturday, you know, and then as soon as it was over, you had Saturday night or late Saturday night and Sunday morning to do the debrief or the post game to clean it up, and then you were moving back into prep. So for you, you had a daily show or you had a weekly show. So that cycle for you is different than dealing with clients and dealing in the business world. How did you navigate finding that structure for yourself and figuring out, here's my pre-show, here's my show, here's my post-show?
It all just makes sense to me. It's like intuitive. I mean, whether it's a whole area division or it's just a customer, I, in my head, can translate that to pre-production, production, and post-production.
Yeah.
I can just do it. I can't explain it. It's like you learn to ride a bike, you just do it, and it applies to everywhere.
Yeah.
It's instinctual to me. I will never leave something without a post-mortem.
Yeah.
People are like, it was great, but you need to do it. I'm like, you saying it's perfect? You can never be better? I love a post-mortem.
Yeah.
With a customer, how'd that clean go? You know, we want to talk to the customer and to the cleaners. Did you have everything you need? Were you able to do your job efficiently? What worked? What didn't work? Can we tighten it up? Can we do better?
Mark had the luxury, I say, of watching film. Everything that was done was filmed. The eye in the sky doesn't lie, you know. So, you know, when I tell this to sales teams all the time, you got to get back in and say, here's what happened. I didn't know how to deal with it. How would you guys deal with it? So that post is where all the learning and, hey, this happened. What would I do the next time? But I want to shift gears because the question I have is going to get underneath your rib cage a little bit. You talked about following Mark and the passion to say, okay, let's do this together. That's a great dream, but that comes with lots of other, hurdles. So for everybody here who may or may not be working with a spouse or a relative, and that's why I'm bringing it up, that comes with its own set of circumstances. Give the audience some feedback as to what's that like and what you've done to master it, because you guys do an amazing job.
Stay in your lane.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's
Pulls up, 3-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good.
Hey, is that fire, man? Nice job. That's a great comment. So unpack that for us.
Yeah.
Okay. It just works for Mark and I, but I'm cognizant of everything I say, when I say it, and how we do it. And it doesn't mean we walk on eggshells. Absolutely not. On the opposite. But if Mark is like, for example, having a meeting with somebody and I'm listening in and I'm like, dude, no, I would do it this way. I will never interrupt and, disrespect what he's saying ever. Like, that's a conversation you're going to have at home privately or behind closed doors. And I will never, sometimes, when you run a company, the employees will come to me. It's like the kids going to mom and dad because they think, oh, well, if Mark said this, I can backdoor it through Shari. And I have to be really aware on how to manage those situations so they continue to respect and understand the pecking order in the company, but I let them be heard. And sometimes I just have to approach things differently. So when you work with your spouse, you can't bring family shit to the office. You have to
well said.
Boundaries.
Wow.
Boundaries.
That's a doozy. That is an absolute no-no that most people don't respect, that boundary. You can't bring that there.
No. And so when we're working, and I will never be like, so who do you want to have dinner with Saturday night? Well, maybe that's different, but you have to know a time and place for discussions. And I think we're really good at that. And I think what works for us too is we have these sort of fireside chats in the evening. We'll sit by the fire pit, we'll have a glass of wine, and I'll say, tell me about your day. Like, what are the things I need to know? Because even though we work together, I'm not on his phone, in his email. We're busy, we're doing stuff. So, but that time is actually so helpful for running the business and for our relationship.
Speaking of time, Shay, overtime.
Oh my God.
And we'll go to overtime.
Way to go, Jonathan Aarons. You got it. Mark, final question.
Final question. Oh, wow.
Only a few minutes. So
my final question would be, what is the one thing that you would want every huddler to know about you? Doesn't matter when they watch the show or what's happening. What's the one thing everybody needs to know?
You know what? We love our community, our employees. We support 600 families, and that's a huge responsibility. And we're making differences in people's lives, and we really, really take that to heart. We do everything that we can to, we've been very blessed and we've earned our way and worked extremely hard, but we don't take that lightly. And we give back and we help and we mentor and we, and that defines everything who we are and what we do. And that's just very, very important at AKA Building Services, our personal lives, and to the Huddle community. I love the conversations that I've been able to have with people. And if somebody needs something, I'll help. I love to make connections. I love to sort of pay it forward in karma. I really believe karma is a boomerang.
awesome.
I will say this. You carried the torch well for the Huddler in the hot seat. It's not easy. We've had, some really good continuations of the conversation, and this segment just continues to deliver really, really well.
Jay's comment, Jay said he was the first male entrepreneur in the seat.
Right. He was also the first Huddler in the hot seat. So
it is such a privilege to know you and have you on the show and have you be part of our tribe. Tell people how to get in contact with you if they know somebody who needs their office cleaned. Let's make it a little bit of business for you. So how do they do that?
Thanks, guys. akbuildingservices.com is where you can find our website, learn everything about what we do. You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. I would love to have a conversation with you and, get to know you and see how we can help you in your business stay healthy and safe.
Awesome. Virtual coffee, if you will.
Yeah.
I love a virtual coffee.
Yeah, awesome.
Well done. I got to go. I got to get on the road. Bye, guys. Have a great Friday. Frank Huddler in the hot seat. Get after it this weekend. Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.